Hey guys, doing another live Periscope here on The Compound Effect. Awesome book, just read. Gonna reread it again. Some really great stuff in it. Awesome materials. Book I picked up. Been listening and watching these Darren dailies. Darren Hardy, you guys can all subscribe to him. Leader of Success Magazine, owner, I should say, of Success Magazine. And he wrote a book called The Compound Effect, which talks primarily about how success isn't done, in a day. It's small incremental changes over time that build up momentum to get you to where you want to be, whether that be with your weight loss goals or business decisions goals or relationships or any of that kind of stuff. And he has a lot of free materials, which is, pretty cool, on his website that you can go on and print off. Things like a core value assessment, things like goal setting worksheets, associations, like who you are working with, or I should say, who are you spending your time with? Are they a good influence on you, or are they, a detriment to the things you're trying to accomplish in life? One takeaway that I'm for sure going to be doing is his the bookends, meaning at the beginning of the day you have a set routine of going over very specific things that you want to accomplish for that day, your most valuable priorities, your MVPs, and goal setting for the future as well with those various priorities, meaning what do I need to accomplish, say this quarter, what are my most valuable goals for, say, the next year, and then just recapping also your longer term goals. And then at the end of the day, doing again another very bookend routine, like kind of a download or dump of the day that maybe had success with, or takeaways you had that you can put into a binder or a notepad and kind of check out, so to speak. He talks about cashing out your thoughts and ideas into a journal. And then he also, which I think is brilliant and something that I think everybody should do and something that I'm going to adopt, is reads at least 10 pages of something positive, like a positive book or a positive message or whatever, to give his brain something to chew on while he's sleeping, and then carry that momentum forward into the next day. And one of the key analogies that I took away from this was, and there's various analogies that are similar to this, but the one that I kind of like is this hand pump idea of someone pumping up water from a well. And when you start pumping on it and pumping on it and pumping on it, nothing comes out. And you're building up the vacuum, you're building up the pressure, until all of a sudden, now you're starting to get a little trickle. And then he says, what's funny, some people at that point will quit. I did all this work and I'm getting this little trickle, like, forget it, it's not worth it. But if you just keep pumping, consistently pumping that water pump, all of a sudden a full stream starts coming out. But as soon as you take your hand off the pump and let it stop, that water starts going back down into the ground, and you got to pump harder and harder and harder and faster to get back to that same result. And that's so true in life. We all read these self-help books and things in our lives, and how many of us go about reading these books and reading these things, and we don't do anything with it, or we do it for a little bit, maybe a couple weeks, even a couple months, and nothing happens, and we get discouraged, or we fall back into old habits, and we're back searching for the next, self-help book. And he talks a lot about this in his book, The Compound Effect. So it definitely is something that everybody should pick up. And something that I think is most encouraging about it is, like, anybody can realistically do this. And he's all about being realistic, not these big grandiose claims of, doing things 1,000% right off the bat, like a guy who's trying to lose 50 pounds. He doesn't have to go, say he's completely sedentary now and going to join a gym and work out 2 hours a day with a personal trainer every single day of the week. That is not realistic. That guy is not going to stick with that. So although he might do it for a short term and find some short-term success, long term he can't maintain that pace. He's not used to do it, not used to doing that. and he will burn out. So he talks about making realistic, small, incremental changes to start building the momentum, build the compound multiplier, build that compound effect, and grow towards this snowball of success. I will see you all later this week, and you all have a fantastic day.